there. Hi, my name is Gracie, and this is what happens when you play with swords as a kid. I think this video is hopefully going to be short. I'm like, set that goal in your mind. I want to get back into making videos, and I think this will be like a good jumping off point. I actually started an idea for a video a few months back. I mean, it all started when I was riding the bus to work and I saw it, or maybe it saw me. Showed me what kindness and compassion means, and I realized I just have more growing to do. And that's why you don't DM strangers on the internet. Let's begin with the great. Ghost of Yotei has genuinely one of the most gorgeous and well-developed, well-designed worlds that I have ever experienced in a video game. There were moments where I was traveling around and I was genuinely shocked. Every single thing you see, every person on the side of the road, 9 out of 10 times, there is something there is something to do, and you will get a reward for checking it out. After leaving the first plains area, the game puts you at the coast. And after completing the main story in this area, I was like, I'm pretty sure I found like everything on this map. And then I noticed there was like this cartographer dude, and I was like, why would I buy anything from the cartographer? I've found everything on the map. And it turns out there was so much more, so much hidden stuff, so many secrets, so many puzzles, so many side quests, so many things that I hadn't found. And it really, like I said, it's just mind-blowing how dense and how populated this world is. One time when playing, I was riding my horse through a forest, which is often something that happens in this game, and I noticed like through the trees like a little building there, and I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Like there's lots of homes in the game and not every home has something for you to do, but normally you can go, you can loot it, which is great. So I ride up to this home and there's like two bad guys sitting in the driveway, and I was like, okay, that's weird. And I go up to it and there's like these stone statues, and I was like, this is very odd. They had like, it was like clearly a puzzle, and so the puzzle wasn't hard, but it was extremely surprising, extremely shocking to be like, there is so much hiding in the woods, in the rocks, in the trees, on mountaintops. There's so much in this game. There's even these little shrines that you'll do where you'll visit places and you'll go see like the world from very high up, and there's lots of different paths you can take to get to the top of the shrine. And many times there's like just paintings up the walls of these shrines that don't do anything, they don't mean anything. There's not like a secret puzzle you put all the pieces together. It's just a well-designed, well-lived-in world. Another stroke of brilliance in this game is the combat. It is so much fun to play this game and to fight other bad guys. Like there's this mechanic that they added where you can like pick up a weapon off the ground and chuck it, and it always it always reaches its destination. It is so much fun every single time. Like you probably will throw, if you play this game, hundreds of weapons, hundreds of times you will have an interaction with this mechanic, and literally every single time it was so, I would be like, I wasn't like, ooh, it's the same animation again. I was like, it was so much fun throwing these weapons. It took me a while to really get into this game, and that was partially due to the combat. I felt like my button inputs weren't going through, and then I realized I'm just bad at video games, and it's on me. I did play this game on like normal, and it felt like a good challenge. Like I died a few times, quite a few times, in fact. Even some of the normal enemies will have attack patterns that you have to pay attention. You have to parry, and you gotta get out of the way or you will get your ass beat. Something that did bother me a touch, but as I got deeper and deeper into the game, like it really doesn't take a lot of hits to down the main character or down enemies. Like it probably isn't more than 5 for the big brutes, and it isn't probably more than like 10 to take down a boss enemy. But it's the parrying, it's the blocking, it's the dodging. Like you have to be very precise in some of these fights, which made it extremely, extremely fun. Even though it took me a while to understand the game and its mechanics and what it was asking of me, a stroke of brilliance in this game is the combat. Before I move on, one thing that I don't know if I have heard people talk about is the soundtrack. The soundtrack to this game is a little bit brilliant. Like, it's really good. There's a few times where a woman's voice comes into the scene and all the music fades out and you're just listening to her and her shamisen, and it is so gorgeous. And it did remind me like a little tiny bit of like Expedition 33, which is triggering, but it's so gorgeous. The soundtrack of this game is like top notch. The things Ghost of Yotei gets great are the most important things to get great in a video game. It's the world, the moment to moment gameplay. It's incredible. I never grew tired of doing the things that this game asks. I never grew tired of stealth. I never grew tired of combat. There were times where I was like, I don't want to get in a combat fight right now because I'm like on my horse traveling across the map. But it was so much fun. Even like this game shines in the duels. Like there are duels in this game where you like you like pull your sword out and then like prepare to fight an enemy one-on-one. Those are some of the best fights and the best set pieces of the whole game. Like there were genuinely moments where I was in awe at how beautiful and how well played those sequences are. Moving on to the things this game does good. Something that I didn't expect in Ghost of Yotei was the humor. Actually, it's one of the reasons I decided to make this video. There's a moment early in the game where our main character Atsu walks into a bar and this happens.
Maybe I could...
Hey there, I have an idea.
What did you do?
I hit it with my chamber pot. Don't worry, I'm naturally dehydrated.
It's the first moment in the game where I saw the devs having fun, just playing around and making something that isn't for the action or the coolness, just to make the player laugh. And it made me see that this game is deeper and richer than I knew. Speaking of Atsu, the main character, I like Atsu, but I didn't love Atsu. There's moments of humor where you really start to like her and you see who she is on the inside. I replayed the previous game called Ghost of Tsushima maybe 2 years ago, and even now I remember liking Jin more than I like Atsu. I think this is because you as the player live through Jin's worst moment. You as the player fail when he fails. Atsu's worst moment of her life has already happened, and we don't experience it. We see it in cutscenes that are out of order and honestly a little bit confusing. I feel like it wasn't until the very end of the narrative where I really felt the character drama and tension in the conflict of the story. Like, will Atsu achieve what she wants to achieve, or will she change, or will the world around her change, or will the characters change? And it was just, I felt like there was a dichotomy in this. Before playing, I heard that the story was one of the weaker parts of this game, and I won't say it's like bad, but it is definitely not as good as the last game. I do want to say before I leave this section, Atsu is like kind of a Disney princess. Like, she kind of does a lot of like interactions with, let me remember this. She interacts with a wolf, a fox, a bear, and a deer, all at completely different times. Like, I remember Jin, like, you know, he pets the foxes, so cute, so adorable. But Atsu's out here, like, petting deer, and a wolf, and a bear. Like, she's like a little Disney princess coded. And I was like, Shoot, like I love this. Like I want to pet the deer. Time for the things I didn't like, which is my favorite part of the video. I originally put this in the good things. Then I realized actually I didn't like it. I honestly didn't like a single one of the side characters in this game. There's like 4 of them that are like actual fleshed out kind of characters, and then every other one is just like you'll meet in one cutscene and then like you say bye-bye to them and you never really see them again. There's even this one like little boy who's so annoying. Like they gave him this like Atsu, like this. Oh, I hate this little boy. They gave him a mousy little voice, and his little backstory. They give him a little backstory to be like, oh, you should like this kid. And I was just like, I hate you. I hate you so much. And you never have any good items. Okay. I bought the items you had because I had a lot of money. Okay. I didn't buy the items you had because they were useful. Some of the side characters are fine, good, maybe, but most of them are uninteresting and forgettable. And I hate when things are forgettable. Okay? Atsu learns a number of different weapons from a number of different teachers, and I literally can only remember 2 of the teachers she has. And that's because they're like a little, like one of them is really cool. He's like an amputee, and the way he designed him, he's like a little hot. Okay? I should be honest. The other one, the other one is in the main story like a lot, but she doesn't have anything to do. I don't understand what her purpose was in the main story. Like, okay. Okay, I said this is gonna be spoiler free, but I just have to say, I saw this thing before I started playing the game, and it was this like meme, and it was like lesbians and zombies, lesbians and swords, lesbians and robots. So I thought that Atsu was gonna have a romantic partner in this game, and then that teacher lady, the sensei, who's named oh gosh, Oyuki, who's named Oyuki, she's in the game, and I was like, I mean the age difference is a little extreme. Like I guess if you really like if you stretched it, maybe it's like 10-12 years, which is fine. But I was like, she did like like murder her mom. And I was like, I don't feel like they're setting her up as if she's like the love interest, but she's also like the only woman here who's not Atsu. And I was like, so I guess she is the love interest. And so I was holding out for the love interest, and that never happened. It never happened. And I got queer baited by the internet. The game doesn't queerbait you. Okay, I just want to say this really explicitly. The game doesn't make it seem like Oyuki is going to be her love interest. But I thought she was. And I was disappointed by that. Second bad thing, the side quests aren't great. There honestly is only one side quest that I can remember from the entire game. I do remember a lot of the like things you do on the map. So like a lot of the like fortresses and a lot of the like farms. Like I do remember those things, but the side quests are so boring. Like they're all just like you go up, you talk to a guy, then you travel with the guy, then you fight some guys, and then you talk to the guy who gave you the quest again, and that's the whole quest. And it's a little boring and a little repetitive, and I've tired myself out a little tiny bit. Something else this game struggles with is stiff animations. Remember that funny scene where everyone turns to Atsu in the bar and then turns away from her? The whole game, the movement is kind of like that. Like it's a little jarring because the game is stylized in such rich realism, and then every single cutscene, it's like so stiff that it really creates like a weird like break in the immersion in those areas. An example of this is the game has very little facial animation. There is a single cutscene in like the last third of the game where Atsu like holds her hand up and she emotes. And I was like, what is happening right now? We are emoting and holding our hands up in a cutscene. I've never seen this before. I am going to play that cutscene. I just want to warn you, there are a little bit of spoilers in that cutscene. I don't know why, like, I avoid spoilers. I think it's because, like, if I clicked on, like, I was gonna say, if I clicked on a little bitch's YouTube video and she spoiled the game for me, I would be pissed off. So I'm not gonna spoil the game for you.
Yotei.
You're right. It's not enough. What I have taken from you cannot be given back. But what I can give to you is knowledge. Saito and his sons are gathering forces near the Oshima coast.
This game fell short in a couple of other areas. Sony did like a gameplay showcase a few months ago, and it showed off these mechanics of the game that really are not utilized very much. And I'm going to show you the clip of the Sony showcase from a couple months ago.
When Atsu returns to her childhood home, with the push of a button, you can experience those cherished times.
Camping under the stars is a great way to rest up, play your shamisen, or cook to ready for a fight ahead. It's also designed to help bring important characters and upgrades straight to you.
These are really cool ideas. The concept that at any time when you're playing, you can go back in time and see the world as it used to be when Atsu was a child. The issue is, there are very few places that you can go back in time, and when you do, it does not actually look that different. It's only been 16 years since Atsu was a child, and yes, the world changes a lot in 16 years, but also the world does not change that much in 16 years. This home I'm in was built 15 years ago. If I went back in time 15 years ago and looked at the house as it was then, it wouldn't be like, wow, I'm seeing the world as it used to be. It's like, I'm seeing my house when the paint was not yellowed. You know, I don't know. I can't think of anything. That's not in the script. Maybe I'll cut that. The other thing that they mention is that you can go to your camp and you like start a little fire and you like cook a little food. And the characters in this game are supposed to show up at your camp so you can interact with them and it doesn't interrupt the game feel. The issue is this does not happen very often. The first reason is because you actually won't camp a lot in this game. The reason you would camp is because it's camp, guys. I'm gonna put a meme. I'm either gonna cut that out or I'm gonna put a meme. The reason is because you don't camp very much in this game. The reason you would camp is because if you want like spirit, which is like the mana of this game, you can camp to restore spirit. But the thing is, you're constantly using, getting, expending, restoring spirit. You're constantly getting into fights. You're constantly sneaking and assassinating people. Like, you really don't need to spend the 2 minutes it takes to make camp, to sit down and then stand back up. That interrupts gameplay. Another thing about why you rarely interact with people at your camp is because I didn't realize you have to go into the menu to summon them to your camp. And that, why, like, I thought, I mean, I think maybe it was the way it was presented in the showcase just didn't make it seem like it was going to be something I caused. Like, I thought it was going to be like a random occurrence. It just, like, the concepts of these things shown in the showcase are really cool. They just don't happen very often. Okay, final few things before I end the game, because this video is going to be short. Atsu will occasionally sit down in the world at these certain sites to paint. I like this less than what they did in the first game. So in the first game, Jin would occasionally sit down and craft a haiku. And you, as the player, would sit there and you'd move the camera around and you would highlight these different things in the environment. And you would create a haiku that then would be read by Jin. And it was so cool. It was so much fun. Sometimes you'd make a haiku that was really good. Sometimes you'd make a haiku that was really bad. But it would always be read by the main character. And it really made me feel like I was creating the haiku. The paintings, there is zero player input in these paintings. Like, they could have honestly just made it a cutscene. Like, there's no, like, me dragging my finger across the DualShock controller, like, it doesn't actually change the painting. And sometimes Atsu will do like a little splash of color at the very end of the painting, but she only does that sometimes. And that little splash of color was my favorite part. And I was like, why didn't they put that in every painting? Because, like, you know how every artist has like their own different style? Atsu's is like, when she finishes her painting, she does a little splash of color at the end, but she rarely does that. And I was really sad about that because I really liked that little splash of color. I actually have one more thing that I need to say before the video closes out. There's this little mini game where you sit there and you flick coins across a table. I am so bad at this mini game, and I fully blame the game's designers, okay? The DualShock controller. Let me get mine. I'm gonna pick it up. I'm gonna show you. The DualShock controller has this thing called adaptive triggers. So when you push down on it, it can make it harder or easier to flick the trigger. Why do they not use the adaptive triggers in this game? They did in the last game, and I genuinely believe they just ran out of time to put the adaptive triggers in, and we're like, ship the game, and it'll be added in like a later update. It'll be like Ghost of Yotei update 2.0, and it'll be like transmog, adaptive triggers, ability to reset your skill tree, and New Game Plus. They don't have that yet, and it always gets added later. So when it gets added, I need you to all hear me right now. I called it first. Yes, say it back. Yes, I called it first. Okay. So this little mini game you play where you flick the coins across the table, I saw a clip of it on like TikTok before the game, like before I played the game, because it took me a while. And I was like, oh yeah, this game looks like that doesn't look hard. Like, I can flick coins across the table. It's so freaking hard to flick these coins across the table. I'm getting quieter instead of louder because my brother is sick and I can't get loud. I entered a new level of anger that I've never reached in a video game in years. I genuinely have never been so angry in the past probably 10 years. Like, when you like the last time I was probably this angry, I was playing like survival games on Minecraft. I've never been so angry at a game. I remember I was sitting in my beanbag and I was like, why do you get a choice of color? I was like so mad. And I just said, looking back, that was not the right response. Okay? No game should ever make me feel like that. But I was really angry. I was really bad at the mini game. And I just have to say, I've complained a lot about the game devs, but they added like a little accessibility feature to show how hard you're flicking this freaking coin. And I just want to say thank you for doing that. Because I almost, like, I had real tears in my eye when I tell you, every time I make one of these videos, I think it's funny to like throw a little tantrum and get annoyed, be like, I'm so mad at this thing. But I genuinely need you to understand, I was so angry at this mini game. I could have thrown my controller at the TV. I could have broken something. I think I took a break. Like, I think I was like, we gotta go outside. I was like, we gotta touch grass, because this mini game made me almost break my PS5. Okay, that's it. It took me about 50 hours to finish this game. I did about 94% of the achievements, which I think the things I'm missing are like the things that I would use a guide for. Like I have to play my shamisen or I have to bow at like hidden locations in the world, and I'm like not interested in doing that. I did all I wanted. I did all I wanted, and I'm very happy. I overall, I almost forgot to say overall. Overall, this game is really good. Even great at times. It shines when it needs to shine, and it's meh when it's okay to be meh. So I would rate this game 3.5 out of 5 stars or 7.5 out of 10. And if I have to round, I would round up. I would round up to 4 stars and I would round up to 8 because at the best, at this game's best, most beautiful, when you pull out your sword and it's like ching, and it's an 8. Like this game at its best is an 8 out of 10, and at its worst, it's a 6.5 out of 10. So take that as you will and play this game if you want to. I used a different video editor to edit this video, so we'll see how it turned out. I don't know, not yet. Maybe I'll go back to the old video editor, but I wanted to do like some fun transitions in this video. Ghost of Yotei, way better than Assassin's Creed Shadow. I don't think I have any other things to ramble on, so I love you very much, and is it Thursday yet? I'm joking, that's the wrong one. I don't think anyone who watches this will understand that, but I love you very much, take care of yourself, and I will see you again.